Once you've got your Google Doc how you want it, the most important thing to do is share it. That's what makes Google Docs so unique. The ability to share your document in its current state at all times without having to keep saving with new updates and emailing back and forth. To share a document, all you need to do is go over to the Share button. Right now, since this is a brand new document that I just created, I am the only person who owns this. But I can change it to give other people access to this document. There's a couple things I can do. One is to change whether this is a private document. I can change it so that anyone on the internet can see this, or I can send out a link and allow anyone who has the link without having to sign in to see my doc. I can allow it to everyone at Milford Schools to see this, people at Milford Schools with the link, or I can keep it private. I would generally recommend keeping things private and sharing with specific people unless you have reason to make it a public document. I can add different people by using their names. So I'm going to add Mrs. Casper to this. So I can do share and save. I can choose to send a copy of this email to myself because it's going to notify Mrs. Casper that I've shared this document with her. And that'll let me know that everything went through. So I usually go ahead and select that. And then I just click share and save. Now Mrs. Casper is listed as someone who has access to my document. I'm still the owner of the document and I get to decide what kind of permissions she has. She can also be an owner, which gives her the same ability to change permissions as I have. I can make it so that she can make edits to the document, so that she can comment on the document without changing it, or so that she can only view the document. I'm going to give her editing permissions. And then save changes. And done. So now if I go back to my home screen, we can see that Google Docs are cool. It's a shared document that I'm the owner, and it was last modified at 6:43 p.m. I can go into that document and see who it's shared with by just hovering over the shared button. And I can see that Mrs. Casper now has access to this document. When a document is shared, you have the ability to access the document from any place with an internet connection. And if you've given editing privileges, people can work on the document on their own and everyone can see the changes that have been made. Instances when this has been useful in my experience are numerous. One example is when my principal asked me to keep a parent communication log. I kept it on Google Docs, which meant that whenever I communicated with parents, I just had to be near a computer with internet connection to log my communication rather than having to have a file with me to write everything down. And then I just shared it with my principal and she was able to view it whenever she wanted to. Another example is the band department in Milford created a database of all the students who are enrolled in band in grades 6 through 12, and it is created by another music teacher in the district, Mr. Espy, but he has shared it with me, so I'm able to access the information whenever I need it. Another example was when Fine Arts Night was happening. Mrs. Casper created a document, and it was a spreadsheet, so we were able to track students who had signed up to participate and who had paid for their participation in Fine Arts Night, and we were both able to access and edit and view that document. So those are some great reasons why sharing a document is so important.